For those who don't know, in the United States, the sexual marketplace, the dating market is a fucking shit show, to say the least. It is a shit show. And when I bartend, when I danced, when I did all these things, I could see it. Play, I mean, plain and clear. I could see it. Just, it's in your face every day. And talking to people, learning about people, and getting to know them, I start to see patterns. Humans are really good at pattern recognition. And when I started to see patterns, I was able to pick up on a lot of different behaviors, and particularly with women. Now, I always was taught as a young man, because I was raised by a single mother, I was always taught to be nice, do the right thing, do what's right, treat her good, treat her like a princess, pedestalize her, and everything else is going to be fine. Just be nice. Get her flowers, do these things. I was in for a rude awakening. Okay. When I got down to LA, I learned about female nature up close and personal. I learned about how the world works very fast. It took me a little while. I'm hard headed, I'm stubborn. So it took me a little while to get it. But I'd say when I got my heart broken, that was when I had to change. I had to look at things differently. And I came to this crossroads where I was like, okay, there's the lies that I've been taught. And then there's this other way that I see how things really operate. Do I follow this blue pilled way of thinking with all the lies and just try to put my blinders onto it and not notice these things? Or do I look at the red pill lens? Do I look at the world with a red pilled lens and understand that human nature is not nice, it's not clean, it's not friendly. It is what it is. And you can't try to negotiate with it. You can't try to, oh, well, she just needed to get that out of her system. She just needed to get this out of her system and then she's going to come back to me. No. There's a clear difference, gentlemen. If a woman ever cheats on you, the relationship is over. Completely 100% over. And at that point, you have to walk away. When I walked away, my life changed for the better. And in the beginning, I was angry. I was very angry. And in the beginning, I wanted to hurt people. Not her. I didn't want to hurt. I never had any like violent, you know, emotion towards her. I was just hurt by her. I had violent emotion towards the guy. And it took me a lot to not do something physically about this. And now the only reason it didn't happen, honestly, I'll keep it real. The only reason I didn't physically hurt this guy is because he steered clear of me. Now, had he came at me or came to find me like I asked him to, come to my house like I gave him my address, then it would have been a different story. Again, different time in my life, much different chapter in the book of Pollywood. But at the same time, these lessons that I learned were so valuable. And I'm so thankful for that because it taught me so much about female nature. And it made me women in as time went on, women have told me that I'm cold now. I don't think I'm cold. I think that I'm a realist. And I think that I realize and I understand how the world works. I think that I understand how women work. And because I understand how women work, I understand that I will never put everything into a woman. That's just not how I will never put anything into a human being. Everything that I have, all my goals, hopes, and dreams go into my goals, go into what I want to build, do, and bring to this world. A woman is supposed to be a complement into my life, not a complication and not my whole sole focus. So These experiences that I had taught me so much. And when I get these questions about what's the craziest thing you saw, what's the craziest thing you did while you were stripping, oh man, that's a whole nother episode because I would be here all night talking about the shit that I did and saw. It's a movie. We're talking celebrities that would hire us to entertain them. We're talking about celebrity women that are lonely because they're so successful and they can't find a man who's along their lines of success and or status or looks or whatever. They needed to hire somebody to fulfill that need. And I think that society is going more and more in that direction to where we continually hear it, right? Women don't need men. Men don't need women. We hear it from both sides. Um, I would say that it's interesting because if I had to make an argument about this, I would say that women need men more than they want them, and men want women more than they need them. It's an interesting dynamic, but I think that's the easiest way I could break that down. And we live in a very interesting time where women have been taught to be very independent and they don't need no man. And that's fine. I think what's happening now, especially with the young men that I talk to, is a lot of men are like, cool, you don't need us. We're over here. Now, what happens in the process is the men that they want, that small percentage of men that women want, are also being like, cool, you don't need us. We're over here. How often do we have to hear nowadays, oh, men don't approach anymore? I mean, the marriage rates are plummeting. Age range of marriage is increasing. So I think the average age of women in our country getting married is around 30. And, that's you could ask any average woman what she wants to do when she's in her 20s. She wants to do all these things. She wants to go to college. She wants to get a career. She wants to go travel the world. She wants to do this and that and the other. Now, most men are going to look at that and be like, cool. That means she wants to go experience a lot of different dick. That is just the reality of it, ladies. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but that just is what it is. That's how men think. And I'll keep it real. By and large, we're right. I've experienced women like this. I was the fucking guy. When people ask me, when are you going to go? You've been with her for, a year. When are you guys going to go get married? Okay, so why does marriage not work in this country? But it works in other countries where they marry for different reasons. I'm just asking the question. In this country, we marry for love, right? We marry for happiness and love and this and that. But happiness and love are both fleeting emotions. They do not last. They come and they go. So if you have a marriage contract that we're signing and we're getting involved in under an emotion, based on an emotion, how do we think that's going to fare in the long term? People change. It's not a commitment anymore to, for better or for worse, and through sickness and in health and for richer or poor. That's out the window. It's not even about that anymore. From what I gather, people want to get married. Women want to get married for the ceremony. They want to be a bride. They want to wear that pure white dress. But are they pure? So to sum it up, I would say this. Am I anti-marriage? Absolutely not. I believe that marriage is what creates strong societies. I believe that having a mother and a father in the house with children, raising them upright with a masculine and a feminine energy is what brings up children into creating solid structured societies. But how often does that happen today? That's my question. And if more than 50% of our marriages end in divorce, with almost 80% of those divorces being initiated by women, it's like handing somebody a parachute, jumping out of a plane, handing somebody a parachute and saying, hey, 50-50 here, bro. You might die, it might open, it might not. Most men are going to be like, no, I'm good, right? But I think if you ask most men what they truly want, to this day, most men are going to say they want a good woman to have kids and settle down with and have a family. But if you ask most women what they want, college, career, travel the world, experience this, go here, go there, right? All these things. And then maybe when I hit 30, 35, I'll settle down. I'll find a good man at that point and settle down. Men are checking out. Men aren't going to pick up the bill. 35-year-old woman with all these life experiences, men are going to be like, I'm good, bro. I'll go get a 25-year-old who has less life experiences. Women don't understand that men want a woman who does not have all these life experiences. It might be attractive for a woman to have a man who has a lot of life experiences and a lot of money and a lot of potential partners in his past. Men are the opposite. We want less of all that. Less partners, less life experiences, less everything. You can't blame women because more and more men can't. They're not up to that standard, right? But also it's a lopsided sexual marketplace because men, we start from the bottom of the mountain and we have to climb up to the top. We have to build. To get onto a yacht, I have to fucking own it. Or I have to be in cahoots with my boy and we're in business or something, and then him and I are out there on the yacht. Women, you just got to be beautiful. It's the way it is. So it's like a trust fund baby and a man who's built from the bottom up. Women, when you're 18, you're at the fucking top of the food chain. You're a trust fund baby. You were just gifted millions of dollars. How are you going to spend that money? You're going to save it? You're going to spend a little bit here, a little bit there? You're going to blow it all in one sitting? What are you going to do? The choice is yours, ladies. And just like for the men, the choice is yours, gentlemen. I might be hard on the girls, but I'm also hard on the boys. Guys, you ain't got shit. You're 40, and you're still out here chasing, going to the bars, and you ain't got money. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Yeah, you might score here and there, but what's the long-term goal here? I'm not perfect. I'm not the greatest in the world. I've had my shortcomings. I've done my fair share of debauchery and some shit in the past that's very questionable. But today, how I live my life today, moving forward, my relationship with God has changed my life and made me want to be a better person. So I think the moral of the story here, the overall moral of the story here is marriage in our country is done. Marriage the way we do it is done. And I don't think there's any saving it. There's no going back. There's no going back to how it was. We only go forward. I'm not here to save the world. I'm just here to connect dots and talk about this shit because it's entertaining. And because I've been in the thick of this and I've seen women who are getting married the next day and partying with me the night before, doing things that their husband or soon-to-be husband would not marry them for. I've been hired as the guy to do this with women. So I've seen women do things that I can't unsee. And when you've done these things like I have, it makes it very hard for you to trust women, but anybody for that matter, And I think it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's good to hold everybody at arm's length. That's where we're at. Marriage in America is dead and gone. Commitment in America is dead and gone. The sexual marketplace is turned upside down in this country, and it is because of women. Because women control the sexual marketplace. Women are the gatekeepers. Women get to decide when the sex happens. Whoever decides when the sex happens controls the sexual marketplace. If women all got together today and said, you know what? Nope, no more sex before marriage, men would get in line, I guarantee it. Because men want sex. Women want commitment, men want sex. If women all got together collectively and said, you know what? That's it, ladies. We're going to stop fucking around with Chads and Tyrones and fucking them on the first date. He may or may not live in a storage unit and just got out of jail. Tattoos on the face, fucking whatever. But no more of that until he puts a ring on it. What do you think's going to happen? Men are simple creatures, ladies. were very simple. If women laid down the law and said no more sex until marriage, men would line right up. It's time to get married again. But let's just keep it real. That's not going to fucking happen. That's not going to happen. And until men get incentivized to get married again, they are just not gonna fucking do it.